Hello guys, this is Super Unknown Person here with another PO battle, and why don't we get to it? Alright, so he starts out with this Ferrothor, and I start with multiple Mole, and I go for Stealth Rocks, and he goes for Stealth Rocks, and I go for Stone Edge, and I get a crit, and then he goes for Leech Seed, and then I go for another Stone Edge, and I miss, and then he goes for a Dry Ball, and takes out multiple Mole, my Doug Trio. Then I send out Bionic Bird, my Skarmory, and I go for some Spikes, and he goes for Leech Seed, and then he goes for an he switches out and he goes to Jolteon, and then I go for another Spikes. I switch out and get away from that Jolteon. I take whoever hits. I take with Shadow Light, my special offensive Umbreon, and he switches out with his Abomasnow, and I go for a he goes for a Blizzard, and I go for a Wish, and get some hail damage by leftovers back. He goes sends out Kyurem. He gets a lot of damage her. He's already like halfly damaged, and I go for a Curse, get some bulk up, and then he goes for Dragon Meteor, and it doesn't really do anything, so I'm very specially offensive. I go for Payback. Then he goes for another Dragon Meteor, and doesn't do a thing, and I go for Moonlight, gets him health back. And then Dragon Meteor again, he goes by him, and then I go for a Wish. 12, Dragon Meteor, and then I go for a Curse, get some defense and attack and speed up. Then I go for Curse, and get some bulk up. Turn 13, he switches out to Whirlwind, and then I go for another Curse. His Ice Body heals it, and then he goes for a Toxic, but then my Synchronize reflects back at him. I go for Payback, it almost damages him enough. And then he goes for an Aqua Wing, but he's going to be taken out because I go for a Payback, so there's no point of using that. This guy said he hasn't played in a while, so I guess he's not that great. So he sends out Kyurem, and then it dies because it gets Stealth Rock. So then he sends out Reuniclus. He goes for Recover. I don't know if it doesn't misclick, but he got Sling Ward activated, but he did nothing. I went for a Payback. He's burned. And he switched out, go back to Ferrothorn. He takes some damage. He's 74% health left. Then I go for Payback. Then on turn 18, I go for a Wish. He goes for a Leech Seed. Then on turn 19, I send out Bionic Bird. He double switches. We're both switched. He goes to Jolteon. So that was a bad switch. I go for Whirlwind to get rid of that Jolteon. He goes to the Abomasnow and takes some damage. Then I got Wish because it came true, and he went for Hidden Power. It kind of hurt me a lot, but then I went for Whirlwind, and his Ferrothorn went back in. Then his Ferrothorn came back in. I went for Roost to get some health back. I'm landed. He goes for a Leech Seed. And then he goes for Gyro Ball, which doesn't really do that much, only 10% damage. I go for Whirlwind, he goes back into Jolteon, so that's not a good thing of what he sent in. So he just takes me out with a Thunderbolt right here on this turn, but it doesn't really matter because I got my stalling out. And I went for Deluxe Dragon, my Latios, and I take Thunderbolt like a man, and I go for Dragon Meteor, and I take him out turn 24. Then I stay in an Abomasnow. He sends out Abomasnow and it gets taken out. And then Ferrothorn is his second last Pokemon. I go for Ice Beam and it takes out with a crit. Oh, really nice. So then the last Pokemon, his Reuniclus, he has Burn. I go for an Ice Beam and I defeat him. And good game. Ososo. That's his screen name. I hope you guys like my videos. These PO battles, I'll keep uploading more. Comment, like, subscribe, check out my other videos, and this is Super Unknown Person, signing off.